Vlog it.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So, I decided to do a part 2 of transparency, and I have my lovely family here with me. I have my baby Bella, and I have my hubby, and we're gonna be transparent today. A moment of transparency.
What's going on?
So, because people said that they liked it, I cut it off kind of short. So I decided to do it again. And if I delete this video, you can also see it on my YouTube, and you can also subscribe. So it's called Marriage from Her Eyes. You could subscribe to my YouTube videos. So starting off with our transparency, I told you guys before that we've been through a lot of things in our marriage. We had a lot of secrets that we held from each other, and basically we wanted to come together and talk to you guys and be as transparent as we can to let you guys know exactly what we went through, and let you guys know that, you know, in your marriage, if you having secrets that you haven't told your spouse, you might want to tell them now, because it could set you free and it could set them free as well. And then they could know different parts about you, and your marriage should also go deeper. It could go deeper than where it has been. So this is my husband Albert, and he's gonna let you guys know what we basically talked about in our 90% and how we got through it too.
Yeah, so first of all, how you all doing? My name is Albert, of course. Well, one day, my apostle, he told us in a sermon on a Sunday that we should give our 90% of our story, right? So me and my wife, she just started opening up to me. She just started telling me all of her secrets and things of that nature, you know. And I was like, wow. I'm like, that was so amazing. So it just opened up room for me to tell my secrets, you know. So I began to tell her my secrets, and the reason why I believe that it's important for us to give our to tell our secrets and everything, especially in marriage, is because how you
Hi.
doing? Because those things can torment you or whatever, and
Yes, it can.
You'll feel it's like you give the devil a foothold to say things about you, like if somebody else was to release that secret that might know of it. So in my case, like before we got to NY, you know, like me and my wife, we was going to Church of God in Christ, and they didn't believe in a fivefold. I'm not gonna tell you the exact location we were at, but they didn't believe in a fivefold or anything like that. And I was new to like actually serving Christ, like actually like start going to church and everything in 2013. So I had friends that I grew up with, you know. I'm not gonna say their names. I mean, I still love them, you know. But I had friends that I used to hang out with, and me and my wife, we had been married for about a year or whatever, and we had jumped the broom early, so we end up planning our. Well, I'll let you talk right quick.
Yeah, it really wasn't even a year. We got married in September 2013. Nope, yep, 2013, and we decided to have our wedding in June. So we wasn't going to tell people that we were married because we didn't want to take away from the actual wedding day. So we kind of held it a secret, and then we only told like our close family members that we were married. So yeah.
Yeah.
Keep
So,
inviting followers too. This could really bless somebody's marriage.
yeah, it really can. But so continuing on from that, I had some friends that I used to hang out with, and we were married, like as she said or whatever. We got married in 2013, jumped the broom early. Had our wedding June 2014, June 14th, 2014, and the day before is the day like with my friends that I like hung out with all the time, you know. They took me out to eat and everything like that, you know, and like after we got through eating or whatever, they wouldn't tell me the next place we were going. So I'm like, okay, whatever, these my friends, whatever, they support my marriage and everything like that, you know. Like they pretty much like they took me to a strip club, right? So I ended up going or whatever, you know, and being in the strip club, you know, like I felt convicted, you know, like they asked me if I wanted anything to drink. I got non-alcoholic drinks, and when I was there, whatever, I'm there and I'm looking, I'm like, man, like this is what a strip club was all about, you know. I've been there before. I mean, I that was my first time being there, and like being there or whatever. It's like, man, like that is really not nothing to it, you know. Like all you doing is just like staring, you know, like what the heck you like that's weird, you know. But anyway, like when I went there or whatever, you know, I began to start feeling convicted, you know. I was just standing there, sitting there, just looking crazy. Like people asked me if I wanted a lap dance stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm straight. Like so. After that day 4, like I had the wedding the next day, I was like off for like 2-3 hours of sleep, and we ended up having a good time or whatever, stuff like that. And I prayed and everything like that, because I was still bound with my own devils, you know. I was still bound with fear and anxiety and everything, but by the grace of God, I made it through that wedding, you know, without like freaking out or nothing like that, you know. So we had a good time, and for years or whatever, like all the way up until we ran into All Nations or whatever and started going there. Like I began to like just wanna like come out of, you know, like torment from those type of secrets, because I'm like, man, what if these friends or like the people that I hung out with and did this with like go and tell somebody, then that just ruined. I'd rather tell her versus somebody else telling her, you know. So when we got to this once church service with our apostle Matthew Stevenson, he told us about secrets or whatever. He said like pretty much like a lot of people be saying what goes on in your home stays at home. Like, well, you really need to get out and tell somebody, ask for some help, you know. So in this case, I was like the person I needed to tell was my wife, you know, before it got out, you know, like something like that, you know, because it's like if that type of stuff happen, you know, like while I'm married, you know, like with them or whatever, you know, like they might end up telling, you know. Like again, I said I love them through Christ, you know. So, but like that tormented me, you know. It's like, man, like I want to tell her so bad, but I'm like, man, she might not love me the same. She might not think the same about me, you know. So, go ahead, what you got to say.
So after we left the church or whatever, and you know, we riding in the car on our way home, I'm just like, man, like I'm feeling so burdened. I wanted to tell him my secrets so bad. So I began to open up to him and let him know, like, you know, don't judge me because of what I'm about to tell you, but you know, this is how I feel. And then when he began to tell me what he did, like we were still married and they took him to a strip club. So like we were married, even though we didn't have the physical wedding, we were married. Like legally, biblically, whatever you want to call it, we were married. So, and they took him to the strip club, and that made me feel so bad. Like I was hurting so bad. Like that hurt me so bad, because I'm like, he waited to tell me, but I can't get mad because he is opening up with me. So I didn't know. I had so many mixed feelings about this, and I'm like, okay, don't get upset. So he finally told me everything about, you know, how he went to the strip club and what they did and how he just felt so uncomfortable and all this type of stuff. Even if he would have told me that he enjoyed it, you know, my feelings towards him still wouldn't have changed because of the fact that I love him and because of what we just went through in church. So I believe that was a great opening for us to even talk to each other about it. And so I began to tell him that same night, even though it wasn't something I felt like was major and I didn't have to tell him, I felt like, okay, let me open up, because I lied to him about, he asked me, did we, like the females, our side, did we go out and did we drink or do we like anything like that? And I'm like, no, we didn't go anywhere. We went out to eat. Like we went to Bar Louie's. You know, Bar Louie's is a restaurant, even though it's called bar, had the bar name in it. And I'm like, you know, we just went there. But I lied to him. I had several drinks. I didn't get drunk, but I had several drinks. And I believe I had to tell him that because I knew that was something in my past that hindered me from getting to the next level in my ministry, in my life and everything. Like, if wherever there was drinks at, I wanted to be a part of that. And he knew that. Like, I just love to drink. It was just something about me and drinking. Like, I don't know what it was. I never got drunk or anything, but I just love the taste and everything of it. So talking to him about that opened up another doorway for us just to even, I don't know, experience like ourselves on a whole nother level. Like I got to know him for who he really was and for who he really is. And to this day, I don't feel like he is lying about anything. He will lie about anything, and I won't do the same either. So you wanna?
Yeah. So after we were released or whatever from those secrets or whatever that we told, you know, like we told all our secrets, you know, like, so we got to tell, like, we didn't even tell 90%. Matter of fact, it was actually 100.
190
with the percentile mark. So we told 100. You know, after that we was straight. You know, we didn't condemn each other or nothing like that. We forgave each other. You know, we confessed our sins to one another so that we may be free. You know, and so we able to pray and everything, and pray against stuff like that, like our struggles, our weaknesses, and everything like that.
Yeah.
And because of that, to this day or whatever, like, I mean, like, I could go to her as my best friend, you know, and tell her anything that's going on, you know. Like, this my best friend for life, you know. Like, when we made those vows, we made those vows. So for anybody that's out there in their marriage, I encourage you all to tell your secrets if you have any secrets to one another, and have an open heart or whatever, so that this person could come to you and be approachable, you know. And you know, in Romans 3:10 it say no one is righteous, and then Romans 3:23 all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But it also, Apostle Paul also said in the book of Romans that should we sin because we have grace, by no means. So that doesn't mean that we should sin
just because
or take advantage of grace because we have it. That don't give you no excuse. It said all have sinned with an ED. So that's past tense. So we have to put away all our wicked ways and become more bright on the better side of living the life of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And to just add on to that, if you are the one that is telling the secrets, you know, go there, have them have an open heart, an open mind towards everything, you know. And if you were the one receiving it, just listen and be praying. Oh, I love you, Mickey D. But, you know, listen to them, have an open heart, an open mind, and be able to just take in what they're saying. They're not telling you this to hurt you. They're not telling you this to make you feel bad or condemn, like, yeah, and let me tell you what I did to you. No, listen to them, because after hearing it, when I heard it for the first time, it broke my heart, because I looked at Albert and I looked at him in a way that I shouldn't have, and that was my fault, because I looked at him like he could do nothing wrong. There's nothing that this man could do. He could never do anything. Like, he was just perfect. I put him next, like it was God, Jesus, Albert. Like, he can't do nothing wrong. And that's not how you ever want to put a man or a woman. You don't ever want to worship them at all. And so having him on this high esteem, like having him so high up, I'm like, okay, he can never do nothing wrong. My marriage is secure. Everything is good. And just like that, the enemy set up a trap to try to get him. Just that fast, he tried to get him, and he tried to get me too, also in our marriage. And after, like, hearing all the stuff that he did, or hearing the stuff that, you know, we went through, I'm like, you know, God, thank you for being that light in our marriage. Like, without having friends, like real friends that we could talk to and go to and let them know, you know what, we're struggling here and there and we need help. Without having them and without having each other to actually be transparent with, you know, where will we be? By the grace of God, we have these people in our lives. So also, we wanted to also talk about the moment that another moment of transparency when we was in the car with the situation with, what were we talking about with the numbers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the numbers. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, since we being very transparent, like I said, so another thing on my end, like I remember, you know, at the beginning of relationships and stuff, boyfriend and girlfriend, you'd be like, oh, how many people you slept with and all this stuff like that, you know. I told my wife one number or whatever, but on that day I gave her 100%. I was like, it was actually more than what you think, man. It was more than what you think. So I opened up to her about that or whatever, and I just told her the truth. I'm like, I'm not this guy that was like perfect or whatever, you know, like, but I just gave her my secrets or whatever so that I wouldn't be held accountable for about Satan and his demons, you know. Like, I wasn't trying to get attacked that way, you know. So I just wanted to open up, and because I opened up, I was able to get free, and now I'm able to tell my story without being condemned, you know. So if I wouldn't be able to tell my story to you all right now if I hadn't told her, because Satan still got a foothold on me by secrecy. And another thing I want to tell you too, based off of my story with the friends I was with, that's when you have to let go of things or whatever, lose your life for him so that you can gain it. Because if you stay with the same people that give you the access and the keys to hell where you were before, you need to drop them, because if you stay with them, you're going to end up continuing in your sin because you have access. There's temptation. Sure, you will take this, you know, It's like being tempted at the mountain like Jesus was when he was after 40 days and 40 nights of being hungry, you know. So that's all I'm saying, though. You gotta lose your life to gain it, you know, for him, or else if you love your life, you'll lose it because you wouldn't give your life to him. So that's all I'm saying. Like your life should be a living sacrifice, which is holy and acceptable unto God, so you can be transformed with the renewing and transforming of your mind, you know. So hey, there it is. You got anything else to say, baby?
Yeah, he just said a mouthful. That's what I'm talking about. Man, I got another word. No, but seriously, when it come down to it, that's point blank period. The whole point of this scope is to let you know, just to be transparent and open. The levels of our relationship has grown so much because of that one day that we went to church and hey, Apostle, we are talking about transparency in your marriage. Your 90% preaching blessed our lives. So we're letting other people know that if they be transparent in their marriage, that their marriage could be blessed too. So yeah. Yes, you have. Yeah, so you must go and talk to your spouse. Let them know, you know, I've done X, Y, and Z. I love you. You know, I need help. And if you need help in any way, shape, or form, there is help. There is help. There will always be help. So.
Yeah, and another thing too, based off the friends that I used to be with, I traded my friends in that I used to go to hell with, you know, for friends that I could have accountability with, people that could pray for me and actually help me through my wars. So
yes.
That's the reason why I had to, like, when I told my 100%, I'm like, man, I want out from these old friendships, you know, like, even if they get on this Periscope, will see this story, I mean, like, it's all out of love. I still love them through Jesus Christ, you know, but the reason I told my 100% so I could get free and so I could find me some accountability partners to help me stay away from my old sins and never turn back to the access of hell that I once had, so that I could be a blessing to my family and a blessing to my daughter, that said, to break the generational curses that I hear right now.
Yes.
Or that was, yeah, I should say.
Yeah, and so that's it. That's the point blank period. Yes. Oh, hey, Darlene.
Yeah, it definitely will help the married and unmarried people that's single or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
it will.
Like,
and that's the whole point.
Yep, and I once heard before too about a pastor saying that the best thing to do when it comes to relationship, first it should be friendship, then it should be fellowship, and then relationship. First, you got to build your relationship. You got to have a foundation. That's the friendship. Without the foundation, if you go right into sex and all that stuff, premarital sex and stuff like that, that's what it's gonna be based on.
Yes.
So you won't have no friendship foundation. You're gonna have soul ties foundation. So
yes.
once you conquer that friendship with each other, then you go to fellowship, and that's where you praying with each other and stuff like that.
Yes.
And telling your 100% of your story or whatever, so they can know your struggles and your weaknesses, so that you could both get deliverance before you actually get into your marriage.
Yes.
And then after you conquer fellowship, then you're ready for relationship. Relationship is not just to live life and be friends with benefits and stuff like that. It's to actually conquer the real. Marriage is ministry.
Yes.
So if you just living life, giving yourself up freely for casting your pearls to the swine, then you have no value within your relationship. You just have value within hell, you know, and that's why Satan probably not messing with you in your relationship if you're not even trying to seek for marriage. Some people are bound. They've been in relationships for years and living with the person, shacking and everything like that, and they wonder why they ain't marrying them, because they haven't found value within themselves. So why should Satan give you a ring?
Yes.
You know, and since when did, like my apostle said before, he said, since when did lust ever care about a ring? It don't care. It's never satisfied.
Never satisfied.
A lot of people I know build a lot of relationships off of lust, build it off of rejection, build it off of fear of being loneliness, not knowing their own identity. Like that's what people really base their relationships off. Fear, rejection, not having a father in their life, not having a mother in their life. Yeah. It's so many things out here mentally that you have to renew in your mind in order for you to have a successful marriage and relationship. So that's what you really have to do.
Yeah, lust is never satisfied. And just to even top that off, in the beginning of our relationship, that's all our relationship was about, just sex. And then when we got to the root of everything, that's where the issues began. We began arguing, fighting, fussing, like everything began because it was like we didn't have no foundation in our relationship. We started everything out of order. So God wasn't nowhere in it. and it was nothing that we could do to solve it, but like I said, turn to Christ. It was nothing that we could do. Like, I really suggest, if anybody's married, your marriage will work if you in Christ. I kid you not. Your marriage will work. If y'all put y'all 100% into Christ, it will work. It's no failing in Christ. So that's what I really love about it. And also, like I was saying about the lust. Lust is never satisfied. So it doesn't matter what you think you have and what you think, the tricks that you're doing and all of that stuff. If you have an addiction to sex, you're going to have an addiction to porn. You're going to have an addiction to anything, that because your gateway is open, your mind is open for everything. So like he or she would never be satisfied with just you, because they have that addiction to everything else. So you're satisfying him with your body, and this is a man that you're not married to. You're satisfying him, or you think you're satisfying him, and then he turns around and, you catching him watching porn, or you're catching him with another woman, or maybe even a male, because lust and sin is never satisfied. So you could lose your relationship just by doing that. And then us as women, I don't know what it is, but it's like once we open ourselves up to men, it's like we hooked onto them. You know, like they could have sex with us and leave and be gone. But for us, it's like, I love you. And we're saying that we love somebody, but it's not that. It's lust. You know, it's infatuation. So that's what we really lose ourselves in as well, because we allowing that lust to gravitate us, to get us, to hold us down, to be stuck in this soul tie with somebody that doesn't even want us, because they have so many other addictions going on in their life that they can't even just love on you or be with you like you want them to. So... anything else, man of God?
Yeah, and being at All Nations, like, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that we learned or whatever, like within the last year and this year or whatever, like, you know, like the church was still like kind of new to me. I learned the church first before I learned like how to like actually move with Christ, you know, like I learned the tradition and all that stuff like that. I learned that people were actually human first, you know, versus like faking it till you make it. You know, I seen stuff within people, but couldn't put two and two together because of the lack of fivefold in the old church that I used to be in. But when I got to All Nations, I'm like, oh man, I got a lot of work to do, you know, like we got a lot of work to do, you know, like, and this year I got me an accountability part. I'm like, what's that, you know, like, so I'm like, I can't fight my battles on my own. I mean, I can tell my wife all I want to, but I need another male to be able to tell me, you know, like, hey, because, you know, like my father, I was born out of adultery. My grandmother, she slept with married men, so that's how I got out here, you know. So I mean, and even on my mom's side too as well. But I needed accountability, you know, like in order for me to maintain my salvation and everything, you know. Like I have people that tell me like, yo, get in your word, you know, like pray more, stuff like that. So it's important to have an accountability partner. You can't fight your battles on your own. When we was in a war with Iraq, did the people go out there by themselves? No, they did not. They had to go together. I mean, even though it was flesh and blood, I'm not talking about flesh and blood. I'm talking about spiritual warfare against the principalities, the darkness of evil. So that's what I'm heading with that, you know.
Yeah. So just to wrap everything up, we don't want to be long-winded and stuff, have an hour and 2 hour scopes. But you can see more of this on, like I said at the beginning, on our YouTube, or my YouTube. It's called Marriage from Her Eyes. You can subscribe, because I will be taking this down probably in like 5 hours or so, maybe, I don't know. But you could, or I'll take it down once it's up. But you could subscribe to that, and we're gonna have more stuff for you guys, because we want to see people, we really want to see people have long marriages and non-divorce. I hate divorce. Like, I despise divorce. I feel like you could always work it out. So yeah,
you can only work it out with Christ, because we wouldn't be here today to tell y'all the story if it weren't for Christ.
I
We'd probably
agree.
Be somewhere separated and isolated and back in my depression and everything else. So yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have Christ in there.
That's the only way you can make it. The only way. Trust me, we know. Yeah, but I'll see you guys. Just be looking for more coming Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. If you guys have more topics or anything y'all want to talk about, y'all can hit me up on Facebook. That's the only reason why we came back today, is because somebody hit me up and let me know that they wanted more of this. So if you guys have anything we could talk, trust me, we've been through it all. I said that the other day on my other scope. I said we've been through it all, and I was like, no, we haven't killed anybody, but that's the only thing we haven't done. So we've been through it all in our short time of being married.
We ain't did everything.
Well, we ain't did everything, but we've been through some stuff.
We've been through a lot, y'all. I mean, like, come on now, we human.
Yeah, we've been through some stuff.
Right here, you know?
Yeah,
this is flesh.
But yeah, we're not gonna keep it up long. So love you guys. See you.
Guys.
Hold on, I want to show Bella. She's knocked out sleeping. It's too dark to show her.
Out.
All right, bye guys.